Hey there, gamer guys and gals. I've got a special review today. It's Shadow Gangs from JKM Corp. And we're going to have to do this a little different, and I hope JKM Corp don't mind. And if any of you people that just want to see the review, just skip ahead. You'll be able to tell because you'll see the images moving. Right here I just decided just to put the picture of the game up and just talk about it. When I was a kid, in the 90s, I was a depressed kid. I didn't have a lot of friends, and I would go to the arcade and I would pump quarter after quarter into a game called Shinobi, and it was a real escape. It took my mind off the things that were tough, because I didn't have an easy childhood. I had a lot of things that you don't talk about to people right now, so we'll just not talk about that. But Shinobi was an escape for me, and I would put hours into that game, and I loved it so much. And the moment I saw this game, it just really hit me emotionally and personally, and I was hooked. When I got this review, I played this game non-stop, until I made sure I beat it, and most of the time when I beat a game and I review it, I just uninstall it from my Xbox. There's very few games I keep on there to go back to over and over, and Shadow Gangs is that game. It's going to stay on my Xbox, and I'm going to play it more when I get time from doing my other reviews. I know it's a game that I'm going to come back to over and over, and it meant a lot to me, and I'm thankful to them for sharing their art, and I'm thankful for them making a game like this. Because this game really just captured everything I loved about Shinobi, and it captured everything I loved about arcades in the early 90s. If you love Double Dragon, if you love Bad Dudes, if you love Shinobi, of course, this game is going to be in your collection. You're going to love this game. This is the best modern retro title released this year, in my opinion. I can't think of anything that captured the feel of actual retro games like this does. This could easily been on your SNES or at your local arcade, and you'd have been hooked. It would have been a hit, and that's something I just had to say, and is how I was feeling before I got to the review. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into the review now. And thank you for listening to the people that listen. To the people that skip forward, I understand. Nobody wants to hear this. You're here to see what this game is about, and we're going to do that now. But thanks for listening to the ones who did. So you play as Carl, and he's the leader of the Ninja Order, and he's trying to rescue his family from the Shadow Gangs. And you'll see in the bottom right, it'll tell you how many ninjas you have left to save. And you'll see them. They'll be near these big guys that throw blades, and they'll be hooked to this post, and you'll free them. And you have to capture them all in the level or before you get to the checkpoint, or it will make you go back. So you're going to have to learn the levels. You're going to have to learn where they are. Of course, I know that doesn't look like they're hard to find there, because that's not a level where they're tough to find, but they are levels where they're in caves and they're in trees. And just look how beautiful this looks. This could have easily been an arcade hit. This is a game that I would have pumped quarters into just like I did Shinobi. It's just so much fun. It's put together so well. Even like the music, the bosses are so cool. Like this looks like Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury is one of my heroes, and they capture like so many pop culture icons and stuff. Like there's a guy that looks like Lex Luthor. And it's really cool to see these guys in the battle and to learn their attacks and learn their attack patterns. And you have to, because it's tough. It's not easy. There's 5 missions. There's 2 levels on each, and then there's a boss level. And if you die on that boss or that second level and you don't have continues, you have to play the whole thing over. So it is a real challenge. It is going to make you learn and make you work hard to figure out how to get past these. Even on easy, on easy, it isn't easy. So if you love these games from this time period and you love their challenge that they gave you back then, you're going to love this game as well. You know, I didn't have any cons on this game except for one. I wish there was a primary and a secondary attack. Like, I wish you could attack with your sword or shoot, you know, because there is times when it feels kind of unfair when you should be swinging or attacking and you're shooting instead. So the way it works is when they're close to you, it's supposed to attack, but there's times when it won't. You'll just shoot instead. That's my only issue with this game. The only problem with that is that's not how the original did it either. This is how the original did it. So they did great at emulating that, but I wish they would have improved on it. That's the only thing I'm saying. It would have been nice to have been able to have that smooth combat where you're choosing whether you want to do the kick or sword thrust or if you wanted to shoot. But as you see here, you got a drone. That's a special ability you can get. You can get the gun. You see the gun there. If you're throwing stars is what you do first before you get the ability to shoot. They can be blocked by the bigger enemies, but if you have those bullets, they can't block them. So it makes it much easier, and you try to stay alive and you try to keep that perk because it just helps you to do things so much easier. There's also a perk that does a special attack that clears everything on the screen. You'll see that later on in this video when I'm fighting a boss. Those are better to save for the bosses. There's also landmine, which is also good to save for the bosses. That flag you seen there was the checkpoint. And here you're going to see my issue with why I wish you could do sword or throw stars, because you'll get like cheap attacks where they're landing on top of your head and there's nothing you could do. You should be swinging a sword, but instead you're still throwing stars. But I'm not going to sit there and talk about that one negative over and over, because you see it here. There's so many more positives. Just the bosses are cool. The music took 5 years to make by a guitar specialist. You know, it's you can just look at the graphics and look at the art style, and it's just so beautiful that, you know, that all these pros outweigh that one con by so much. It gives you a good challenge. The bonus stages are cool, but they're tough. They're tough just like the levels. Like you see here, this isn't a rail shooter like you would typically see in this situation. You actually have to push up and down, and it's super difficult. Like, I failed this over and over and over. I also failed the other ones where there's ninjas jumping out of windows, and you have to try to hit them before they escape. I failed this like crazy too, because there's times where they'll just block your star and jump on, and that's it. So if you like challenges, you're going to love this. But like I said, this is my favorite modern retro game this year. You have to add this to your collection. This is a must own. It just captures that 90s arcade feel like nothing that I've experienced. That's why I want to thank JKM again for sharing their art with us. You know, we get a lot of bad games, or we get a lot of videos where no one's watching, and you kind of question why you're doing this, and you kind of get down on yourself a little bit, and you think, is anybody watching this, you know? And stuff like this just makes it all worth it. Something comes across that's just this amazing and this beautiful, and this is why you do it. You know, it reminds you of why you do this. But thanks for all the people watching. Thanks for the support. You know, you help us do what we love to do by watching and liking and commenting. That makes people want to share their games with us. So we thank you for letting us do what we love to do. But I gave it a 9.8, guys. This game's amazing. It's a must own. Definitely check this out.